No more Mr. Nice Guy. It's over. I'm done. I'm through being good. And there's reason for it. But before we get into that, I want to take a quick moment to read a page out of my very first published book titled Doing Me Guilt Free. That is a shameless plug right there. Zero shame. Absolutely plugged. Boom, bam, splat out. Make sure to get your copy immediately. Now, let's get into it. To be good is a matter of perspective. What is good to one person may seem evil to another. Therefore, the judge of quote unquote good is our own perception. And the reason we desire goodness from others is our own need for them to act in accordance to what pleases us. Think about it. When a dog begins to bark in public, whether she's barking at a human being or a furry friend, she is oftentimes labeled as a bad dog. However, when that very same pup puts on a great big grin and licks every hand they see, she is labeled as a good dog. Now, nothing about the dog has changed besides her behavior, yet her behavior is what deems her as quote unquote good or quote unquote bad in the eyes of her caretaker. Now, let's get into that real quick. Let's, as they say, let's unpack. So this idea about being good, right? Most of us are raised in this sort of environment where we are taught to be good. And what good is within our personal environment is whatever that environment says is good. So if we're born into a family of artists, it is good to be an artist. If we're born into a family of scientists, it is good to be a scientist. However, if we're an artist born into a family of scientists, that may not be good, right? That is not a good child. That child doodles all day, they draw all day. That is not good. And of course, vice versa. Now, of course, that's a light version, right? There are deeper and much more sadistic and dark versions like, oh, it might be good to behead people in this specific tribe of people or in this specific group of people, whereas it's not good to behead human beings or anything else in another culture. Now, who perceives good? Right? It's the culture, it's the individuals within that culture who have decided what the requirements of good are. And that's why I broke away from trying to be good. Right now, we have this thing of, nice guys finish last, no more Mr. Nice Guy or Mr. Nice Girl, whatever it is. And I do believe that there is some merit to it. Like, I don't necessarily buy into the, let's say, red pill version of it, right? Doing it as a means of manipulation and having to use it as a way to get people to see me a certain way or to get people's attention. I'm going to be the bad boy. I don't believe in that way anymore, right? I used to buy into that, but not anymore. The reason why I buy into now because I realize that this thing of goodness or niceness, right, is actually a lie. It's a facade. It's a fabrication. It's a fugazi. It's not real, and it's all perception. And when most people are looking for you to be good, they just want a behavior from you. It is a means of behavioral manipulation. That's what quote unquote goodness is. Now, am I saying that we should not aspire to be morally upright? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think we should all aspire towards the highest level of morality. And I believe we're all built in or ingrained with that morality, with that sense of what is right and what is wrong, right? And it's very black and white in a lot of cases in our lives. However, when we take upon ourselves the opinion of the culture that surrounds us, the opinion of the place that we call home and the people that we call family, we may sometimes fall into this trap of goodness. And so we start to try to prove ourselves by doing things and being a certain way that is false, that is fake, that is not real. And it actually does not serve anybody. We think that we're doing people a justice. We think that we are serving those around us by being good, when in reality we are lying and we are essentially manipulating others in order for them to see us a certain way, right? We are manipulated into acting a certain way, and then we act a certain way to manipulate people to give them a perception of who we are, and both parties suffer, mostly ourselves, right? When you are living an inauthentic life, you live a disharmonious life. When you live inauthentically, you suffer. You live outside of your true power and potential every single time. That's why when you see individuals who are really getting after it in this life, who are really aspiring and succeeding, maybe materially or in some ways that we can see physically, they're usually people who don't give a damn on the surface, right? And I believe it is a real thing, right? Like the Mark Cubans of the world. Just simply don't give a damn what you think about them. They really don't. right? And there's plenty of examples like that. Maybe the Oprahs, whoever, right? You may have your opinions about them, sure. I don't know anything about them personally right now because I have not met them yet. Will in the future, and I will report back the news of who these people are behind closed doors. But for right now, I don't know who they are. But one thing I know is that I've seen the characteristics of certain individuals who simply do not care of public opinion, right? And so they can live their life free of trying to be something for somebody. I don't have to please you in order to get my sense of validation and my sense of self-worth. That is the strongest place that any of us can come from. That is a place of true personal power. I am in control of my mind and my emotions. Nobody else is responsible for how I think or how I feel. That is a place of true personal power. And we can only walk in line with that way of being when we let go of this thing of goodness. Again, I'm not talking about then do the opposite of quote unquote badness or evil. Nah, that's not what I'm talking about at all. At all. Because a lot of those activities are also for validation, are also for attention, right? When you can't get the attention by people pleasing, you then turn into the little devil and you're trying to get people's attention. Like I'll be seeing these little kids, first they try to get your attention by doing the little dance and being funny. And if you don't listen or you don't pay attention, then they turn into that little devil, right? Then they start biting your arm or biting somebody else or kicking people's phones out their hands. I done seen it all at this point, right? So again, in order for us to truly evolve, to truly elevate from this good imagery, and in order for us to truly be free and to, I believe we can only be of service to people when we're authentic. Like, I believe we do nobody a service, nobody a justice when we are being fake, period. Like, if I'm here right now and I'm not being myself, or I think I'm being myself, maybe I'm hiding some part, but I am simply just being who I am. This is my thought processes. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling at this very moment in time. And that's what I share. I might be dead ass wrong, but this is how I'm going to share what I believe. And I believe that will be of value to you more than if I try to be something that I really am not. Now, that being said, another shameless plug. Why? Because I'm being real to me. Make sure to get yourself a copy of Doing Me Guilt-Free. I promise you, this book right here, this is the book I needed and still do need. I always need this. I wish I had this at 7 years old until 27, 47, 67, 107. This book right here is something that came out of me because it was the words that I had to speak to myself to remind myself, bruh, you need to let go of people's perception. Like, bro, you need to stop living your life apologetically. Just like my cousin George told me some years back when I started my healing journey. It's time for us to start living in a space of truth. Not my truth or this airy-fairy. No, I'm talking about like a real truth, which is, who am I for real? What do I actually believe in? What do I stand on? Right? There are a lot of places in my life where I could not face that reality. I was not willing to face that reality. I was too afraid. I was scared. I was timid. I was hiding from the world because I thought people were going to have a certain perception of me. But then I realized if I continue to live this way, then I'm just going to have people around me for fake reasons. Like, these people don't even know who I truly am. And so I'm basically living my life for everybody else, and I'm not being authentic, and they're not getting the best of me, and I'm not, and then they're around me for the fake version of me. What the hell is this about? Like, who is benefiting from that situation? Nobody. I might think I am because I'm getting a little bit of validation, a little bit of acceptance, right? People are leaving nice comments instead of the mean ones. People are agreeing with me instead of disagreeing. But when it's all said and done, you didn't gain, I didn't gain. And when nobody gains from the situation, I believe it actually is a detractor. It takes away from us. Like, I stole your time. I'm a thief now. I done stole your time. Just like, shout out to my new homegirl who I just, met recently, Nicole. Hope you don't mind me shouting you out. But you said something. You said a cheater is a criminal. And therefore, they're not just a criminal. They are a murderer. And they are a murderer of relationships. And I thought that was brilliant. And I'm going to carry that metaphor over to say, if I am not telling you the whole truth, then I am robbing you of truth. I'm robbing you of your time and of your attention. And I'm here to do one thing and one thing only, to share the truth because I have to. This is my, this is not an obligation or necessarily a duty for me, but it's the only thing that feeds me as well. It's the most selfish thing I could really do for myself, is to tell y'all the truth. And the truth is, stop being good. Stop trying to fit into these little boxes people made for you. I know your religion taught you that your entire premise and basis of being on this planet is to be good, to be this upright citizen in the eyes of other people. But then in closed doors or behind closed doors, you're somebody completely different. Like, it's time to change that narrative. It's time to be who you are in front of the mirror, in front of the camera, as well as behind the camera. It's time for us to be the same person in public as we are in private. That's the only display of true character, right? We're trying to get our reputation up, our clout up, have people see us and think about us a certain way. Nah, like, I'm good off that, love. I'm good off that. It's time for us to live authentically, to live truly, to live a real life. And the only way we can do that is to let go of these titles like being good. So I stopped. I was over it. I'm through. I'm no longer being good. And I used to be afraid to market anything that I created because I thought, oh, that's not what good people do. But you know what? I don't give a damn what good people do. This right here is a book that's going to do it for you. It will do it for you. I promise you that. As soon as you pick this up and you start reading it, you might see a typo here or there, but that ain't going to mean nothing, because as soon as you get into it, you're going to say, damn, 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 damn. And by the end of it, things are going to be shifted for you. Things are definitely going to change, right? I don't write things to be controversial, but I couldn't help it in that one. It just happens to be controversial because it is the truth, and that's what the truth does. The truth will pierce. The truth will hurt before it does its work. Now, until the next one, peace.